reality transurfing. So there's this book called Tufty the Priestess. It's by Vadim Zealand. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her first name right, but I apologize. But that's besides the point. So basically, what reality transurfing talks about is how we as beings are controlled by a script, right? And within that script, it's film roll, right? If you know what a film roll looks like, it's this big ass roll or this long ass roll pause of like little images, right? And you put the film roll into the camera or the projector, and it projects the images as it's going through the roll onto reality or onto the screen. Like a modernized movie, pretty much. So she describes our destiny as a movie, right? And we get to choose our own script. But within that script, there's mannequins. So we are the mannequins within that script. We're just characters. We're just characters playing along in the movie, right? So when you have a holistic view, or you transcend above the script that you're currently in, you get to choose what you want to see, right? You get to choose the movie. You know, if there's something in your reality that you don't particularly like, well, you get to choose a movie. You get to choose a film roll. You get to choose a script that you enjoy versus one that you don't enjoy, right? So it talks about how your physical self, like this right here, your avatar, and your spiritual self, or your mental self, or your higher self, which would be in here. And that, entails like your inner dialogue, your inner communication, like the person that talks to you when you're not physically speaking, right? And how that inner dialogue is either helping you or destroying you on your path within the film roll, right? But we can't dictate from the current image or the present moment what happens in the movie or what happens in the script. We can only guide the script. We can only guide the movie, right? We are our own film director within our own movie, if that makes sense. So the methods in the book that she talks about, how we can choose and kind of guide the way that we want our lives to go, is first visualization, which will be choosing the action of choosing your particular movie script that you would want to see or experience. And also inspired action. So first is the choosing of the script. Second is the action and being of the script, right? So when you actually become that particular character within the script, then the movie just unfolds, right? So whatever that particular reality has in store for that character, that main character, you're just going to have to go through that, right? Now, it might look like it's adversity, like at face value, right? But in the script, like you see the upcoming future slides, that adversity was preparing that main character, that particular character, for whatever they're trying to achieve in the end, in the conclusion, right? So it's always a rhyme and a reason to why certain things happen in your reality, whether you're able to see that or not. You get what I'm saying? So really anything like obstacles or good things or bad things that may happen, it's all dedicated to the script, right? Now, me personally, the book is amazing. I currently take like hella notes on the book because it has some really interesting stuff in it, and the way she kind of like guides the book or writes the book, it gives you a new way to think about things. But I want to take it like at face value. There's some stuff in there that I don't really agree with. there's stuff in there that I totally agree with. But anyways, yeah. So you can, first of all, you can choose your own script, right? So let's say I'm a fucking artist. I paint for a living, and all of a sudden I wanted to become a fucking professional boxer. I'm gonna just sit here, visualize me becoming a fucking professional boxer. Okay. After I visualized that and internally became a professional boxer, not done any physical action outside of myself yet, internally became a professional boxer, I would then have the inspired action, which is really just your intuition. This is why meditation is very important, because you have to be present to receive or to even listen or hear your intuitive guides to the actions that you need to complete to fulfill the movie script or fulfill the end conclusion of that particular movie script. So your inspired action will then lead you and guide you to the actions that will take to be a fucking boxer. Now, the going back to what I said earlier about the mannequins or like NPCs. So there's obviously going to be mannequins and NPCs and props and all that type of shit in a movie, right? So you're not like, within the movie, you're not really supposed to let people know that you're aware that you're in the fucking movie script. Like, you're supposed to act like this is why you need to be in present moment. You're supposed to act like you are not like, okay, imagine if the main character broke the fourth wall within the movie won't feel real. Like if the main character constantly broke the fourth wall within the movie, like Mission Impossible, this nigga turned to the camera mid fucking air and start saying some crazy shit, you probably not gonna want to watch the movie anymore, because you know that shit, okay, it's fake. Like, you already knew the movie was fake, but now it for real feel fake. Now you don't even really want to watch the movie anymore. So that kind of ties into like how you really not supposed to tell people, like, or try to get them to wake up from the movie script, because then that'll interrupt your process within fulfilling that particular conclusion. Okay, so I'm looking at the book right now. This is what it looks like right here, the book. So I'm about to read this paragraph, right, and I'm gonna talk about it. So in the chapter of outer power, it says, the constructive exception lies in the moment that you wake up and consciously compose your own reality. This is the only thing that isn't included in the script. The script doesn't foresee the exception that you are capable of coming up into possession of a different script. Next to that, there isn't a point in the script where you begin to change. We have to initiate ourselves. This is our free will. So our free will is the superpower that we hold within this reality. Now, you may say, do like animals and other shit have free will? Would I say that other animals have free will? I wouldn't say that that animals besides a human being has free will. Why do I say this? Because animals run off of instinct, right? You can predict what the fuck an animal is going to do if you give it a certain set of circumstances. This has literally been proven by scientists, right? But the difference with humans is we have the ability to rationalize, right? So rationalization affects our decision making, and the fact that we can even rationalize and make decisions based off of different circumstances gives us our free will, right? But the script doesn't see it. Is nowhere in like the film roll of the script that we have the ability to change the fucking film roll. So we can be in a particular situation and like flip that bitch like instantaneously, bro, because we have free will. We can do that. Like, we just have that power, which is OP as fuck. And it also talks about how there's different pendulums So basically what a pendulum is, the universe likes equilibrium, right? The universe likes balance. Now, if there is a positive or negative situation, right, the rate of vibration of emotion in which that situation would put you in, or it will perceive to put you in, you have the ability to push that pendulum like back the opposite way to neutralize it. That way you stay on track of your current film role and don't hop into another like parallel universe where some bad shit happens, right? Excuse me. So basically like the pendulum, right? It's not like it's the what's the word? It's the imagery of the pendulum. It's not like actual fucking pendulum. But just think of like a pendulum, right? It swings back and forth. It swings back and forth. It's constant, right? Now, when the pendulum swings one way or the other, right? Let's say it swings negatively, like the situation occurs and the situation swings this way, right? You have the ability to give into that pendulum swing, which would be, let's say if it was in a negative aspect, you have the ability to give into that pendulum in the negative aspect and keep it there, right? Or you have the ability to neutralize it and make it swing in the opposite direction, right? And you literally can choose to do this. We have free will. We have the ability to make any choice, any decision, any action that we want to, simply because we can, right? So you have to be aware of this. Like when a negative situation happens, you have to choose positivity to neutralize that situation. You have to view it in a different light than you normally would in order to elevate your consciousness, in order to elevate your spiritual awareness, so you can begin to create shit on this plane and be aware of your own creation rather than being aware of it, wondering why bad stuff keeps happening to you, wonder why certain situations keep manifesting that you don't desire. It's because you keep giving into these pendulum swings. You gotta stop doing that and choose the opposite. Like, let's say my fucking card declines in a gas station, right? And all this time you're thinking like, all this time you're trying to have a more abundant mindset. You're trying to make all this money and stuff, right? But you really don't have much, and your car declines at a gas station for a bottle of water. If you let that pendulum swing, if you let that situation bring you back to your old reality, you're cooked. Like your energy is going to be fucked up. But if you sit there in that situation right then and there and choose positivity in that situation, it's going to neutralize, right? Because the reason depression is so hard to get out of is because once that intense initial pendulum swing happens, right, it's hard to get out of it, because choosing positive thoughts when your mindscape is nothing but negative, it's hard. But it's a necessary evil in order for you to escape that, right? That's really like, if you really like break it down, that's really all it is. Negative thoughts keep getting fueled because your attention is on them. Your attention is your spiritual currency, right? So whatever you spend your attention on the most, that's what you're giving your energy to. So if you have like a bunch of negative thoughts and you're depressed as shit and you're sad as hell and everything in your life is going bad, if you focus on that, you focus on all those negative things, you're just adding to the fire, and that's only going to bring more negative things to you. It's a snowball effect. So in the midst of destruction, if you could focus on your light or your own light or positivity, you will rise out of that shit way faster than you think, just simply because you chose to be different. She also talks about the illusion of action, right? So basically the illusion of action is like, people think like you have to put in all this physical effort in order to materialize something that you want, right? And that's false. physical action is the lowest frequency action that you could take to materialize something, right? The best thing if you want to materialize something is internally, right? Everything is created in the mental plane first. There's nothing on this physical plane that wasn't once a thought. You gotta remember that. You gotta understand that. Not even understand. You gotta understand that shit. Everything that you see, literally everything was once a thought, right? Once a fucking thought. So if you try to take physical action without internal action and knowing, it's kind of useless, bro. That's why you see like people when they begin to, or when they attempt to change something drastically in their life, simply through like action, really doesn't work out. They haven't shifted to the point where their action is in tandem with their internal belief of their self-image, right? Like if I'm an artist and I want to become a pro boxer, but internally I'm still an artist, I would never become a pro boxer. Now, if I internally shifted to the point where I can become where I am both, I'm a artist and I'm a professional boxer. Well, it doesn't matter how more or less actions I take to become a pro boxer or become a better artist. I'm all doing the right shit. It's only a matter of time, because my actions and also the script is going to lead me to certain situations where that's going to be reflected in my reality. So the last thing I'm gonna go over is the imitation. So you can kind of like imitate, or not even kind of like, you can literally imitate other people and what they're doing to become something similar or a derivative of what they are, right? So let's say I wanted to become a fucking, I don't know, huge streamer, right? There's hundreds of thousands of popular streamers. You know, popularity may vary, but still, they're still successful streamers, right? Well, all I need to do is just imitate and choose a film role or choose a script. Validates me being a popular streamer, right? And I just have to go imitate one of these other fucking streamers, right? Like if I literally see myself putting in the actions in the mental plane as this popular streamer, millions of followers, I'm recording these videos, millions of followers, even though my reality is saying that I have 0. Over time, I'll get the 1 million followers, bro. Like, you won't even trip. Like, I'll get the 1 million followers. I just gotta keep uploading. You're not gonna get 1 million followers if you upload 0 content. You become that popular streamer now, and just wait and keep working. We'll get the 1 million followers, bro. The physical action is literally us following the fucking script. I would say like first is mental, first is spiritual. Like these are like, this is how shit is really supposed to be created, not in the physical first. First is spiritual, right? So you got the mental, you got the spiritual plane, you got spiritual, mental, and physical last. Your physical action should be last on that totem pole, bro. Like New Year's resolution niggas, they be like, damn, yeah, New Year's came around, New Year, new me. New Year, new me. Like, bro, come on now. Look, the only reason that most people don't stick to their New Year's resolution is because they haven't internally shifted to the point where they're internally are that person doing that new action. They just think like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna get me a gym membership, and I'm gonna go to the gym because it's New Year's and I want a better body, right? And they fall off after like 2 weeks, a month max, because they went back to their old self. They went back to their old reality. They didn't even go, matter of fact, they didn't even go back. They never left. They just thought that them putting in the physical action was going to yield them the result, but it didn't, because they weren't the person that had that particular thing. They only just did the physical action. That's why internalizing it mentally and spiritually will always yield the best result versus only doing it physically. And this is the way you're supposed to transurf reality. This is the way reality creation is supposed to go.